everybody is putting lots of stuff on LinkedIn, right? Like you should have 15, right? We had 15 courses so far. Do we have 15 posts? No? Okay, so see, never go after job titles. Always look at the JD, the whole JD. That is how ATS software works. Don't just blindly put your CV. So for today session will be on a light note, just letting you know like what is in general data science, what are the different domains in data science, and what are the different job roles that are there, because it's not just data science profile that is related to machine learning and in general data science. So moving forward, I would like to ask you like what is data science? Okay, this row first. What is data science? You're studying that for a year now. This one.
Like if we have a lot of data and I don't know that how the data can be useful for me. So a data scientist would be, I'll assign a data scientist that, yeah, I need some specific job role,
Okay.
business case.
Yeah.
And in that, you have this particular data. If you can derive me some information so that it can be beneficial. That's how data science works.
Okay, so if you look at this picture, this is also a data, right? This is the data. So what you could tell after looking like at this pictures, yeah?
Data science is the joint of different disciplines like programming.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, this is what a data scientist would do. Like looking at a data, it will try to get out the knowledge that it contains, turn into something that is valuable. So looking at this picture, we would figure out, okay, these are some words that could be associated, right? In general. Now to make it automated or something relevant to the business problem, that is where the data science techniques comes in play. In general, a data science is the scientific study of data and the methods to extract knowledge and then make informed decisions based on the knowledge that you have gathered. So it is a combination of different fields: statistics, computer science, programming, and more. It can collaborate with any field that out there. Maybe it's banking, it's medical, it's sports, it's some sort of, so it's integratable and we can do collaboration with different people solving their business problems. This is checklist that you must have or you must go through if you are preparing to be a data scientist or go into this field. So in general, would have mathematics, statistics, probability, and programming as well. So in general, this is a checklist you should have in mind when you are preparing for interviews as well. You should know everything around these topics. So data science domain. So they are in general NLP and computer vision. So how many people are aware of NLP and computer vision? NLP is natural language processing. So I'll have a simple example. Like in short, everything around us is data, right? So I'm speaking, that's a data, a voice data. Now there is text, there are images, videos that are also data. So something that deals with text, audio, that comes under natural language processing. Computer vision would be handling images, maybe video frames, live streaming. That all comes in computer vision. NLP is understanding and processing information, how we do. So how do we read a sentence? Like in general, if we suppose I have this line, how would I distinguish between whether it's a heading or a sentence? Like maybe it have full stop, right? So that particular learning is basically converted into human information or intelligence is fed into the system. So that is what NLP plays role in. Can anybody tell me an example of smart assistant? Google, yeah, Alexa, or like different. So those are smart. So that is basically under NLP. So if you learn NLP, you'd be able to make your own smart assistant then, right? Document analysis. What could be document analysis? If we have a paragraph, we could figure out what topic it's talking about. That's document analysis. And for example, you guys submit your CV in the companies. So that goes through an ATS system. That is also a document analysis scenario. So that's a resume parser, how your whole data get into the structure and how it's analyzed. So we'll talk about that as well in maybe next sessions. Okay. Then online searches, like whatever you search in Google, like how does that happen, the matching and everything, that also comes under NLP. Predictive text is something like you're predicting value for it, like basic prediction based on text. Then automatic summarization, question and answers, or based on one text you will be generating a paragraph. That is what the automatic summarization is. So these are actually a vast concept that we might not cover today. just a brief that NLP covers a lot of things. Okay, computer vision. So computer vision would be anything that's around images, videos in that forms. Like in text, we would have maybe, okay, there are some sort of different words that we would identify, okay, this is something important, right? For example, in a paragraph of about data science, we'll capture, okay, this is bold, this could be important. This is a heading, this could be important. But in computer vision, like in images, important feature in an image. Yes. Okay. So, but which pixel is more important than the other? Some could be the background and some could be the main thing. So, for example, maybe this one is more important rather than this white background. This is how where computer vision comes in role, understanding a picture features or an image features to maybe capture, predict, do an image classifications and stuff like that. Okay, this is just a basic pipeline to let you know like how companies work and how you might have to go through the process while you are in an organization. Okay, so first one would be business understanding, that is called the domain expertise. So what you're trying to discover here is answer for basic question that would include your maybe according to a company requirements, priorities and budget of the product. So if you are in an organization, definitely you will come through this business understanding where you might be a part of a meeting with your stakeholders or customers or decision makers. Second one would be gathering data from different sources. Now, I know like everybody for this issue, like where should we get the data? So that is main question. Like, the real data is exactly not present. We try to make maybe synthetic data or get data from different sources, but it's a very tough job, right? So this step would include you collecting data from relevant sources. Either it's an in-house data or it could be somewhere that you have open source or some NDA signed with other people to get the data, surveys, forms and stuff like that. Third one would be cleaning and prepping. That means processing and fine-tuning the raw data. That means maybe this whole paragraph, I don't need and. This is not relevant to me. So that is called maybe cleaning. So we could take just clean, prepare data from this sentence, right? So that is basically, this is raw data and getting clean, prepare and data from it would be a step of pre-processing. EDA is very important. So if you figure out in EDA that this solution is not possible, you might go through the entire process again. On basis of EDA, your manager or whoever you are supposed to give your work to would definitely look at this particular point and then figure out whether this work should go ahead or not. So EDA is very important. 80% of the time goes within these steps only, and it could be reverted back again. Data modeling, that is basically creating some sort of intelligence software or a program or a function as well in order to get what you want. Now, in many companies, there would be different level of modelings. Okay, so one could be your maybe dev, that would be on your main development where your customer could see the end result. Then there would be testing where you would test everything that you have built so far. This is what I call model deployment. Okay, so 3 or 4, it could depend on different companies. They could directly produce but that's not actually recommended. You should always have a testing stage at least. What are the different categories that you deal with when you work? Okay, so it's not just Python language or R or any programming language that you need to know. So there are different things that you have to deal with. So for programming language, it could be R, Java, C, Python, anything. Now for code editors, the major, I would say the popular ones would be PyCharm, Visual Studio Code. So we are taught like in university, we might have been using Jupyter Notebook, right? That is also, but it remains still the staging part. It doesn't go to development. Okay, staging or testing, it doesn't go to development. So for development, you do need a code editor, and different companies would have different code editors for the whole team so that they could access code simultaneously. So for a better communication. Okay, data storage, it's better to have a knowledge of MySQL, but if you have more information about other databases as well, that's a plus point for you, because some companies might use MongoDB, Elasticsearch, Kibana. Everything is very same to SQL. So that's why I said the base knowledge of SQL should be at good level. Okay. Version control. Version control would be where the company store the code. That would be your Git, a good knowledge of GitHub, Maybe some company use Bitbucket as well. That is what I have used. But Bitbucket is very similar to GitHub because it's an integration of GitHub and Bitbucket sort of thing. So that is also a must. Now, cloud and deployment. Okay. So being a data scientist, you might not get into the cloud and deployment part because there would be a dev team for that. But what I've noticed is because data science is in trend, so you will have less people on your team. I used to work in 2 people team. We used to handle the deployments on cloud as well. So it's good you have a knowledge because you can assist the dev team if you went somewhere wrong. So when you build an LLM models, right, the requirement of software and hardware is different for each model. You don't know what could go wrong. So development team would come to you, DevOps people would come to you and tell you like, this is not getting done. How do you do that? So they will pull you in a call and say, okay, fix this. Okay. So you could just get an idea like what Docker is, okay? How does AWS integrate models or deploy them? How to create a virtual instance on cloud. So these are basic things that you might just read it on the top surface. Don't get into details, but yes, if you have that, that's a good knowledge you can have. Operating systems, okay. That would be, I worked on Linux because a lot of companies would give you a laptop with Linux system in it. Windows is something that people don't prefer, but for like big companies like Microsoft, Amazon, they would use their own products, right? So still depends. So you might need to work on Linux as well. That is a good scripting system, and it's faster than Windows. Windows get updates and it gets stuck and stuff like that. So good knowledge in shell scripting along with the Linux is always good choice. Okay. Have you guys started applying somewhere, like any job profiles or something like that? Okay. So how many of you know like there could be more roles within data scientists? Like there's not just data scientists out there. There's applied data scientists. There is research data scientist. Okay, so anybody can tell me the difference between just the data scientist, applied data scientist, and research data scientist. The data scientist would generally deals with the stakeholders and get the problem statement and give a solution out of it. Okay, like what could be the possible solution. Now the applied data scientists are actually somewhere in the middle. They have to do coding as well. They have to do model building and like combination of ML engineer and data scientist. They need to have domain expertise as well, and they have to do coding as well. Okay. Research data scientists are more focused on working on something new and getting that published. So like the big organizations, maybe Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, or somebody at the same level will definitely have a research scientist, applied data scientist, and a regular data scientist. That would be different for those companies. But in general, that is what I was gonna come to next. Like in general, if you apply in a like mid-sized company, they will confuse you with the job title and then the job responsibilities. Okay, so what will happen is they will write data scientist, but the job roles and responsibility would be like managing database. Okay, that's the you would say dark side of reading a job title, that you would not know like what's happening there. So never go after job titles. Always look at the JD, the whole JD, roles and responsibilities. Okay. Okay. So this particular job form says healthcare data scientist. So this is basically domain expertise in healthcare, and that is how you come with this. Okay. So like even for ML engineer, it could be computer vision engineer, right? It's not just directly ML engineer. So how I started my working was an NLP intern, then machine learning engineer, then I went to data scientist, then I went to full stack data scientist. So it's not every time you will get this job directly. So if you aim a little, you need to know what's the difference between the job title. So in any data scientist profile, they will write +6 experience, +4 experience. So we study data science, but we won't get in because we don't have that level of experience. So either we start with machine learning engineer in some sort of specialization, like I said, NLP or computer vision, and always check the JD, what is written here. So in here it has like LLMs, then it has everything about the technical or the healthcare data. Okay, so if you don't have that in your profile and you are sending out your CV, even if you don't have even one project in that, you won't be selected. Okay, that is how ATS software works. In general, don't just blindly put your CV. So for example, if this is the job, I would make changes in my CV and write that I worked in this medical data, I've done this and done that, so that they know that you might understand those terms. Okay, so while applying, what you do is create a folder, the company name, the JD, put in that folder, and the CV that you submitted. So for every job, you need to create a different CV. Make changes in that section. Where do you want to fill up? Okay. So data engineers are basically the architect. They build the structure. They build the pipeline. The base structure, how we begin with our data pipeline. Now let's talk about data scientists. So data scientists are basically storytellers. Okay. That is what we do. So what they use is advanced statistical techniques to generate insights, do predictive modeling, and so they gathered those insights to actually work with the stakeholders, as I mentioned earlier. So in general, understanding what this business problem is our role, and we try to put out possible solutions, test them in maybe a framework that we create, a simulation area. So very simple terms that we try to think, okay, it can't be that simple, right? That is back in our head that it can't be that simple, but sometimes it is. Now, so data scientists major skills would be programming, statistics, and domain expertise. Okay. Now I have machine learning engineers. So machine learning engineers, they are actually responsible for model optimization, their training, and to make them scalable. So in general, what would be the skill set? That would be all your machine learning algorithms. You should know the in and out of those. Then data analysis. So they are very similar to data scientists, but they only do descriptive analysis, not the predictive analysis. Okay, and the endpoint that they give us is, by doing this descriptive analysis, they will give you reports like maybe presentations, uh, charts, or some sort of survey that they will give you that will help maybe the sales team, customer success team, to show it to their customer that this would be like an improvement or whatever. Okay, so the skill sets would be good visualization tools. So just get a hang of it if you are interested in. So this is actually a short summary, like what could be the main tools that could be used, what are the skills and what they do. So if you are interested in data like models, modeling, training, optimization, go for ML engineer. If you think data analysis is something that you shine in, go for a data analyst position. And similarly, like I would suggest going as a data scientist at the very first take is not advisable because they won't take you. That's the hard truth. Like we know we are studying data science, but they won't take us directly as a data scientist because the name itself shows something, right? It shows that you should have a deep knowledge of everything, and that comes with experience for sure. Okay, so go for maybe ML engineers, okay, first, and then make your way up. So this is my experience. Maybe it could be different for somebody else. But do you know how GitHub is very useful for your profile building? How employers see you? Okay. How many of you have used GitHub Portfolio? Okay, 2, 3. How many do you have a GitHub based website? Yeah, like you. Okay, perfect. I have 2, 3 people. So this is very important. Like GitHub is something that could create you something very good. Like if you put that in your CV, okay, so if they open up this, what they will see? Okay, wow. Okay. Okay, I'm not praising myself, but yeah. Okay, so I have written everything that needs to be, be aware about me, like how to contact me. Then this is just some GitHub stats. Then what I know and how to connect with me. Okay, so this is all in my GitHub. Then I have pinned some of the work that I want people to see. So this is free of cost. This is hosted. You just need to do one change in your this one file and it will be done. It's that easy. Like you can make this thing in 2 minutes. Now I'll show you the GitHub hosted website. So this is my web page that I have since I think I started working maybe 2019. I have this since 2019. I've not made more changes yet, but this is a web page that you can host, and like it's a CV, like a colorful designer CV that you can create for yourself, where you could add your projects and stuff like that. Okay, so I think nowadays online presence is not an option, it's a necessity. This profile, what you all have to do is just create a repo that's under the name of your profile.github.io, and any code that you put in, like the main code that you put in, it will generate your it will do this link live. So this is how you do it. How many of you keep your LinkedIn updated? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, majorly, most of us. So I would suggest any project that you do within your classes, like you might have 5 courses one semester. That means you have 5 projects to show on your LinkedIn. Why are you not posting them? Right? That is the skill that the employer would see if they look at your profile. So it's not shame if you do a small model, maybe just put it. Everybody is putting lots of stuff on LinkedIn, right? It's become Facebook now. So why don't you post your projects, right? Post everything. Like how many did you post it so far? Yeah, like you should have 15, right? We had 15 courses so far. Do we have 15 posts? No? Okay, so see, now how many of you use Kaggle? Kaggle hosts a lot of competition where, the employers pick you up from if you like get top scores. So Kaggle is a very good sources for free data. There's a lot of data sets out there that you can use that for. So if you see like data set, anything that you want. So this is a very good resource for you to look around. So yeah, I would suggest just keep your profile updated, be active on these platforms. This is how it will work around. And anything that I said here is already in my channel. If somebody is interested, go have a look. That is all I would say. And I think I'll conclude with that. And thank you all for joining.